Debunking the aging myth. Let me ask you something that might surprise you. Have you ever been told that growing older means giving up your energy, your passion, or even your desire for closeness and connection? It's a belief that's been passed down quietly, almost like a whisper in the background of our lives. But here's the truth. That idea is completely wrong. Aging is not a sentence to a life of decline. In fact, many of the struggles we assume come with age are actually the result of neglecting simple things like blood flow, nutrition, and emotional connection. Dr. Zoe Harris, a men's health expert with over 30 years' experience, has spent decades working with older adults, people in their 60s, 70s, and even well into their 80s, and what he's found is remarkable. Not only can vitality be restored later in life, but it can often be stronger and more meaningful than ever before. Thousands of his patients have rediscovered energy, intimacy, and confidence. And the best part? They didn't need expensive prescriptions or hormone therapy. What if I told you that something as simple as the fruit sitting in your kitchen right now could help increase blood circulation, boost desire, and bring back a spark that you thought was gone forever? You heard that right. 5 common fruits you've probably eaten 100 times hold the power to naturally support your body's blood flow and even improve emotional connection in relationships. These aren't magic potions or miracle pills. They're gifts from nature. And yes, they still work when you're in your 70s and beyond. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, "I've tried everything," take a moment, because this isn't just about biology, it's about reclaiming your life. It's about refusing to let society write the final chapter of your story before you're ready. The truth is, the body still responds when we give it the right fuel. And these 5 fruits? They're not just about health, they're about hope, confidence, and reawakening parts of ourselves we may have tucked away. So if you've ever wondered whether it's too late to feel alive, connected, and fully present again, the answer is no, not even close. Stick with me, because in the next few minutes, we're going to dive into each of these 5 fruits, what they are, how they work, and why they might just be the most natural, delicious way to take back your vitality no matter your age. Are you ready? Let's begin this journey to rediscovering energy, intimacy, and the joy of simply feeling like yourself again. Number 1, red grapes. The circulation awakener. Let me tell you a story that might change the way you look at something as simple as a grape. For years, Dr. James, a well-respected heart specialist, believed that only medication could truly help with poor circulation, especially as we age. You know what I mean, cold feet that never seem to warm up, feeling exhausted halfway through the day, or even that quiet but frustrating loss of intimacy. It's easy to chalk it all up to getting older. But then, in one of his studies, Dr. James stumbled upon something resveratrol, a powerful compound found in red grapes. Not pills, not injections, just red grapes. Turns out, resveratrol helps our blood vessels relax and expand. That means better blood flow not just to your heart or your muscles, but also to your brain and, yes, even your most intimate areas. And when circulation improves, so does everything else: your energy, your mood, and your connection with your partner. For men, this can mean natural support for erectile function by boosting nitric oxide levels, the very same thing that pharmaceutical drugs try to imitate, but without the side effects. No headaches. No sudden drops in blood pressure. Just a gradual, healthy improvement that feels, well, natural. And for women, the benefits are just as powerful. Better blood flow to the pelvic area can increase sensitivity, reduce dryness, and make moments of closeness feel more emotionally fulfilling, something we don't talk about enough, especially after 60. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Can eating grapes really do all that? And I'll admit it sounds almost too simple. But here's the thing. It works, doctor. James has seen countless older couples return months later, glowing with renewed connection simply because they added a handful of red grapes to their daily routine. One woman in her 70s told him, "I thought those days were behind us, but now we're holding hands again. We're laughing more. We're closer." That's not just nutrition, that's healing, that's hope. Of course, red grapes alone won't fix everything. but they can be the start. A symbol that it's not too late to take small, loving steps toward feeling alive, again toward feeling like yourself again. So the next time you pass by those plump, ruby-red grapes at the store, don't just see them as fruit. See them as a gift from Nature, a quiet little powerhouse that may help you rekindle energy, warmth, and even love in your life. Because age doesn't decide when life slows down. You do. Stick around next. We're diving into another fruit that supports not just your body, but your emotional balance as well. You don't want to miss it. Number 2, cranberries, the kidney protector. Now let's talk about a little fruit that's been underestimated for far too long: cranberries. You've probably seen them during the holidays, maybe even passed by them in the juice aisle without a second thought. But here's something you may not know. Cranberries could be one of the most powerful allies for your kidneys and your intimate well-being, especially as we get older. You see, as we age, our kidneys naturally become more vulnerable. They're responsible for filtering waste from the blood, regulating blood pressure, and balancing important minerals. When kidney function declines just slightly, it doesn't just affect our energy levels. It can lead to inflammation, poor circulation, and a buildup of toxins in the body. And that quietly chips away at something many people don't like to talk about: sexual desire and performance. Because when circulation is poor and inflammation is high, the signals that drive connection, physical and emotional, can feel muted, distant, like something that belongs in the past, but it doesn't have to. Cranberries contain special compounds called proanthocyanidins that help flush bacteria and reduce inflammation in the urinary tract. That means a cleaner system, better flow, and less risk of discomfort. And when your urinary system is working better, your blood flows more freely to the pelvic region for both men and women. For men, this means better nitric oxide support, improved blood vessel flexibility, and even a natural boost in erectile function. In other words, it's giving your body the tools it needs to perform without synthetic chemicals or side effects. And for women, cranberries' benefits are just as powerful. Improved circulation means less dryness, less discomfort, and a greater sense of confidence in your own body. And that confidence? It's magnetic. It creates space for closeness, for connection, for joy. One woman in her 60s wrote, "I started drinking pure cranberry juice every morning. Within weeks, I noticed not just fewer infections, but a lightness in my body, like things were working again. I felt more in tune with myself, and my husband noticed it too." Cranberries are also incredibly easy to incorporate into your day. You don't need to overhaul your entire routine. Just a small serving of unsweetened dried cranberries, or a few ounces of 100% pure cranberry juice, no sugar added, can make a difference. It's a tiny shift with potentially life-changing benefits. This isn't just about preventing UTIs. It's about reclaiming how you feel in your body. It's about saying yes to comfort, yes to connection, and yes to still feeling alive in ways that matter deeply. So, if you're looking for a simple, natural way to support your kidneys and rediscover a sense of intimacy and vitality, don't overlook the cranberry. It's not just a garnish for your Thanksgiving plate. It might just be the daily ritual that helps you feel more like yourself again. And coming up next, we'll look at a fruit that supports emotional balance and heart rhythm, a true mind-body powerhouse. Stay with me. Number 3, papaya, the energy awakener. Let's take a moment to appreciate a fruit that often gets overlooked in the produce aisle: papaya. With its soft orange flesh and subtle sweetness, papaya might seem like just another tropical treat. But behind that mellow flavor lies a true powerhouse for restoring energy, circulation, and even intimacy, especially as we age. So why papaya? Well, this fruit is loaded with natural enzymes like papain, which aids digestion and reduces inflammation throughout the body. And that's not just good news for your stomach, it's a game changer for your heart, your hormones, and yes, your vitality. Let's start with men. As we get older, testosterone levels naturally decline. It's part of the aging process, sure, but it doesn't mean we're powerless. Papaya contains key nutrients and antioxidants that can support testosterone production, helping to improve blood flow, stamina, and overall energy. Better blood flow means better oxygen delivery, including to areas where circulation matters most. One of the biggest reasons for erectile difficulties later in life isn't lack of desire, it's poor blood circulation. Papaya supports the flexibility of blood vessels, allowing for smoother, more efficient flow. And when blood flows better, so does everything else: confidence, performance, connection. But the benefits don't stop with men. For women, papaya offers support where it's often needed: most hormonal balance and pelvic circulation. It can help regulate estrogen levels, increase blood flow to the pelvic region, and even relieve vaginal dryness. That means more comfort, more sensation, and more emotional connection during moments of intimacy. Papaya also supports the adrenal glands, which are deeply connected to how we handle stress. And we know how stress can quietly shut down intimacy. It makes us tired, distracted, disconnected. But when the adrenals are supported, cortisol levels drop, tension eases, and the body feels safe enough to relax and to connect. Let me share a real story. There's a retired high school principal named Gerald, 68 years old, who used to joke that by mid-morning, he already felt like napping. Energy was low, digestion was sluggish, and intimacy? That part of life had quietly faded into the background. Then, on a friend's recommendation, he started having a bowl of ripe papaya with plain Greek yogurt every morning. Within just a few weeks, Gerald began noticing something. His mornings felt lighter. His thoughts were clearer. His mood, brighter. And without even realizing it, his relationship with his wife began to change. More shared laughs, more touch, more life. Papaya and yogurt, he said, became our quiet little morning ritual. But what it gave back to us was anything but quiet. So the next time you're looking for a gentle way to boost your energy, improve circulation, and rekindle a sense of connection, don't overlook the papaya. It may not shout for your attention like other superfoods, but sometimes the softest things hold the most powerful gifts. And up next, we'll talk about a fruit that strengthens not just your heart, but also the rhythm of your emotions. Stay with me. Number 4. Cherries, the intimacy igniter. Let's talk about something sweet not just in flavor, but in how it quietly restores something many of us start to miss with age: intimacy. You see, when we think of cherries, most of us picture summer pies or childhood memories of spitting out pits. But these tiny red gems hold a surprising secretone that can gently reignite physical connection, emotional closeness, and even sleep. Cherries, especially the darker varieties like tart cherries or black cherries, are rich in compounds called anthocyanins, the natural pigments that give them their deep red color. But these aren't just pretty antioxidants. They reduce inflammation, improve blood vessel flexibility, and most importantly, they increase nitric oxide levels in the body. Now, why does that matter? Nitric oxide helps your blood vessels expand and relax, increasing blood flow, including to the pelvic area. For men, this can lead to better, firmer erections without relying on medication. For women, improved circulation often means enhanced sensation, more comfort, and a deeper physical and emotional connection. But that's not all cherries offer. They're also one of the very few natural sources of melatonin, the hormone that signals your body it's time to sleep. By helping you fall asleep faster and sleep more deeply, cherries naturally reduce stress levels and balance out key hormones, including the ones tied to libido. Because let's be honest, when you're well rested, less anxious, and hormonally balanced, everything else just flows more easily, including affection, desire, and joy in your relationship. Let me share a story that really stuck with me. There's a couple I know, Steve and Linda, both in their mid-60s. They'd been together for over 40 years, but like many couples, the spark had faded quietly over time. Nothing dramatic, just less closeness, more routine. One day, Linda saw a video mentioning cherries and their impact on circulation and sleep. Curious, she added a small bowl of cherries to their nightly routine, just a handful after dinner. 2 months later, Linda told me, "We didn't just sleep better. We started holding hands again. laughing more. And honestly, we found our way back to each other. No pills, no programs, just cherries. So if you've been feeling a little out of sync with your partner or even just disconnected from yourself, why not try something as simple as a bowl of cherries? You might not notice a change overnight, but over time, better sleep, better blood flow, and better mood all add up to something deeper, something warmer, something that reminds you that closeness doesn't have an expiration date. And sometimes, the sweetest connections begin with something as simple as fruit. Up next, we'll explore a humble root that supports circulation and warmth in ways most people overlook. Stick with me. Your next health breakthrough might already be in your kitchen. Number 5. Watermelon, the natural Viagra after 60. Now, let's talk about a fruit that might just surprise you, not because it's rare or exotic, but because it's probably already in your kitchen. I'm talking about watermelon. Yes, that bright red, juicy summertime favorite we all grew up with isn't just delicious, it's been quietly earning the nickname Nature's Viagra. And once you understand what's inside, you'll see why that title is more than just clever marketing. Watermelon contains an amino acid called citrulline. It might sound like a science term you'd skip over, but here's where it gets fascinating. Your body takes citrulline and turns it into arginine, which then becomes nitric oxide. Why does nitric oxide matter? Because it relaxes and expands your blood vessels, improving circulation throughout your body. Think about that for a second. Better blood flow means more oxygen, more nutrients, more life flowing to every part of you, including areas that help maintain intimacy and connection. For men, this can be a game changer, especially for those dealing with erectile difficulties or sluggish circulation. Unlike medications that force a response, watermelon works gently, naturally, helping the body return to a more youthful rhythm. It's like tuning an old piano back to its original sound without the side effects. But ladies, don't skip this part. Watermelon isn't just for men. Its ability to lower blood pressure and hydrate soft tissues makes a real difference for women too, especially after 60, when hormonal shifts can make intimacy feel less comfortable. Watermelon helps by improving sensitivity, moisture, and overall ease in physical closeness. Plus, there's the hydration factor. Watermelon is over 90% water and rich in natural electrolytes which help fight off fatigue, especially the kind that creeps in during late afternoon. And let's face it, if you're tired, worn down, or feeling sluggish, the last thing on your mind is romance or connection. But a simple glass of fresh watermelon smoothie in the morning, or a bowl of chilled watermelon on a warm afternoon, can lift that fog. It energizes your body, restores hydration, and gently opens the door to moments of connection that feel effortless, not forced. Here's something personal I'll share. My Uncle Dan, who's now 72, used to joke that intimacy was a young man's game. But after adding watermelon smoothies to his morning routine, just 1 or 2 glasses a day, he didn't just feel better physically. He started feeling more present, more alive, more himself. And it showed in his laughter, his posture, and yes, in his relationship with his wife. So, if you've been looking for a safe, natural way to support energy, intimacy, and connection in your 60s, 70s, even 80s, don't overlook the power of watermelon. It's not just a fruit. It's a gentle invitation to rediscover vitality, one juicy bite at a time. Coming up next, we'll explore a warming spice that supports circulation and desire from the inside out, so stay with me. Aging is not the end of vitality and intimacy. Let's take a moment to shift our perspective on something we've all been told at some point in life. That growing older means slowing down, pulling back, fading out. But here's the truth, and I hope it lands deep in your heart: aging is not the end of vitality. It's not the end of connection. And it's certainly not the end of feeling close, confident, and fully alive in your own body. In fact, for many people, life after 60 can be a renaissancia return to what matters most. More time with loved ones. More freedom to choose what you eat, how you move, and how you take care of yourself. And yes, More space to rekindle the kind of emotional and physical closeness that often gets pushed aside in the chaos of earlier decades. What we've talked about today, these 5 simple fruits, aren't just about nutrients or digestion or blood flow. They're about giving your body the tools to thrive. They're reminders that your energy, your passion, your joy, they're still there. They've just been waiting for a little support. You don't need expensive pills. You don't need complicated routines or radical diets. What you need is understanding, a gentle awareness of what your body truly wants and how to give it that in the most natural way. A slice of papaya in the morning, a handful of pomegranate seeds in your salad, a watermelon smoothie on a warm afternoon. These aren't just snacks, they're invitations. Invitations to nourish your heart, your circulation, your hormones, your desire to connect not just with someone else, but with yourself again. And I know, this conversation might feel vulnerable. Maybe you've been told that those days are over, or maybe you've quietly accepted that low energy or disconnection is just part of getting old. But I'm here to tell you it's not. You deserve to feel alive. You deserve to feel confident. You deserve to enjoy intimacy not as a memory, but as a present reality. I once spoke with a woman in her late 70s, widowed, quiet, had mostly kept to herself for years. But after she began taking her morning walks, adding a few fruits we talked about today to her meals, and simply listening to her body with more kindness, something shifted. She told me, I didn't just feel better. I felt beautiful again. That's the power of reconnecting with food, with health, with yourself. So if you've been looking for a sign to start making small changes, this is it. Go open your fridge, go to the market, choose one fruit, start there. Because you're not done yet. Far from it. The next chapter is waiting, and it's one filled with energy, joy, connection, and a body that feels like home again. Thank you for being here. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.